Welcome back to the John Hollywood Show. We're going to get the ball rolling, and this conversation gets real deep. The routine, and then we kind of lose track of what we're doing on a regular basis because we're so caught up to, hey, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this.
Well, we're so caught up in, having a routine, like you say, but, also an image of, well, I had to look busy. Well, I had to do this. Well, I had to do that. You don't. You really don't. You need to just slow it down, refocus, reset. It's kind of like our phones. When our phones are about to die, we recharge it. This is what we need to do. We need to do that to ourselves. Mm-hmm. Recharge. Mm-hmm. And I'm really hoping that people get their shit together because if they don't, I'm going to start kicking some ass.
Yo, that was 100% me yesterday. Like we had moved this weekend, and then I had been working on all the other shit, trying to get the place together. And then yesterday I was completely like, fuck it. Like I need a brain break. And I was completely tired emotionally and mentally. And I was like, you know what? It's not going to be a good interview if I'm not in it. Like I'm mentally like, I want to go to fucking bed.
No, that's how I was today. Last couple of days, it was raining. So of course I stayed in, but today I looked outside and I was like, God, it's such a beautiful day. I'm staying at our apartment up north and there's no one around me. It's peaceful. It's quiet. So I can go for a run, on the back roads, no problem. But I was like, I just don't have the energy. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because I'm drinking like 3 sodas a day. I don't know. But
all the caffeine, just caffeine overload.
Yeah. It's just, my body was just like, Tina. And I told him, I told a friend this, I said, I just need a rest. And they're like, that's all you've been doing. I said, mentally, no, I haven't. I haven't reset. And today was that day. And again, I felt so bad. I'm seeing people at Barton Springs doing this and doing that. And I'm like, wow, how are you guys not tired? I'm tired. Like, really? So today was one of those days, tomorrow I'll see how I feel, but I'm not pushing myself to do the most. I'm not doing any of that because I do that. I'm going to do that when I go back to work, when I go back into routine. I'm going to quarantine from my home. I'm not going to come home for a month, It's going to be the opposite. And I'm going to wish that I had one of these days again.
Yeah.
So it's like I take full advantage of it, and I fully intend to. The first thing I'm going to do, and it kind of, back to the subject of like, I'm kind of weary. Like people are going to rush out and go to bars and do stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to wait. You all get the first, wind of air. See how, if it's good, I'll come out.
That's definitely the best option for you, especially like you're going into that environment where it is the party. You got to go back to the party. And the people that are going to go to a party don't give a shit about their mental health or their physical health. And they're like, you know what, fuck it, full send. Like, my immune system deserves to take a beating right now. Bring it on. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, it deserves a break. And I have so many friends who are like, oh, I can't wait to get back in the club, and I can't wait to do this, and I can't wait to do that. I'm like, why? What are you missing? What are you missing, not just from like the party scene, but what are you missing from your own life that you feel the need to always go out and do that and have, yourself busy to where you go home and forget all your own damn issues, and you have enough issues for a fucking Playboy magazine, this slow your roll, like I did that the other day. I had like a little setup. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go bar hopping. I had some wine in my kitchen. I had thing in the bedroom was like, my little Kahlua and hot chocolate. And I was going bar hopping. I was like, oh, this one has some jazz music. Okay. And then I was like, oh, this one has all Tejano music. Dun, 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 So you make your own fun. You make your own world. Life is what you make of it. And if you decide that it should be based on the activities that you do outside of your home or, all that's up to you. But,
that's fucking hilarious though. Let's talk about how fucking funny that is. Like, you have one bar in the kitchen, one bar in the bathroom, one bar in the master bedroom. You got one bar on the patio. Like, I'm going to the fucking patio bar. Like, come on.
Yeah, I was going for it. I'm like drinking it, like, and so I have 2 phones. I had one over here, one here. I have YouTube on the TV, and then the bedroom TV has something else. So I was filling the wine. I was like dun, 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 dun. Yeah, and then I would go like to the next room, and I was like Biggie Smalls up in here, like it was insanity, it was pure insanity. But I love my own company, like my friends are like, are you gonna be okay by yourself? Are you shitting me? Hell yeah, I am. Get the fuck out. Like, I'm waiting for you to go. Like, go.
Just fine.
One party. You know, I really love my own company, and I did before, but more so now. You know, I'm making jokes with myself. I'm making fun of myself. I'm dancing. I'm laughing, and you know, people are like, you're losing your shit, and I'm like, no, really, I'm finding myself. I'm finding who I need to be. I'm finding who I want to be. There's absolutely, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, I may not do it in the way that you would, but we're, you know, one thing you got to get to know is I'm not you, and then after that, the rest will make sense. You know,
That's it. That is it. Like, there's 100%. Like, okay, if you're gonna look outside, let's say I got a window right here. If you're gonna look out my fucking window, look into my window, and judge me for
yep.
what I'm doing inside my house, then I don't need to hear what you're saying. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting myself. Like, there's absolutely nothing that I'm doing in here that's fucking affecting you.
No,
Close
there's
your eyes
nothing.
if you don't like it, or look away.
Yeah. Look away, or get the fuck off my lawn. Really, get the fuck off my lawn. This is private property. Get the fuck off my lawn. You know what I'm doing is, you know, yeah, there's been a couple of nights where I've had way too much to drink. I mean, that Tejano bar really hits hard. You know, that tequila, whew, she does me dirty. You know, and so there's a couple of nights like, you know, I should not have been drinking that much, you know. I'll hit people up and I'm like, what's your time? You know, people I shouldn't be hitting up, you know. Good. But aside
those
that,
mistaken text messages.
yeah. And I wake up the next day and I'm like, you're beautiful. And they're like, shit, we haven't talked for 3 years. And I'm like, I know. Why? So aside that, you know, I'm not doing anything that's harming anyone. I'm not harming myself. So as long as your vices and your, you know, your choices do not cause harm to other people, then you're fine. You know, you're free to choose. You're just not free of consequences in life. That's what people have to understand. With that being said, it is what it is, and I'm here for it. You know, people are like, oh, we have to go back, you know, next week or 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay. You know, I'm calm. I'm calm about it. I'll go back.
It'll happen eventually. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, and then people are freaking out. You know, again, like with rent, and you know, we shouldn't have to pay rent. I see both sides of the spectrum because, you know, me myself, I you know, I haven't worked in over a month. You know, I get it. But at the same time, they have to make money too, and we should have been a little smarter with our finances. That's what it's showing a lot of people, that, you know, if you don't have 2 months rent in your savings, you're not doing something right. You know, you don't need to have 10,000, 6,000, but come on, you know, now we learn to save. We need to save, you know. Of course, I'm a little biased because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go traveling everywhere, you know. But it's also, you know, where I need to be way more financially stable, because had I got sick, I could not afford to go to the hospital. Had this happen, I can't, you know, knock on wood, my mom could not afford a funeral if I passed or if she passed. And so it really puts in perspective. You know, people are seeing it as such a tragedy, and it is. It's unfortunate that lives had to be taken in order for us to wake the fuck up.
Well, I mean, it also goes into the same time, like, everybody's got the victim mentality, and everybody carries a victim mentality on their shoulders. It might not be specifically affecting them with the actual virus, but they're carrying that shit like it is. And you don't have it. You wake up every day. Who gives a fuck if you lose everything that you have? I know for a fact that you're going to get whatever you want back if you work hard enough to fucking either get it back or keep what you have.
Exactly. You know, I was on the wake up list. I am so fucking blessed. You know, that alone is a blessing. I could lose shit. You know, I've lost a car before. I've lost this before. I've lost that before. Okay, then that just means I gotta work my ass off for it again.
That's a great story about how you lost a car before.
I know. I know people are like, oh, dude, I lost my car. I'm like, no, did you literally lose it? It wasn't there.
Anyways, hold on. We're gonna pause, time out, because I'm gonna do an intro, and then we're gonna start, and then we're gonna roll from there. Perfect. Because we could like completely keep going forever, but I feel like, so I'm gonna cut some of the stuff from the earlier clips, and then we're gonna roll from what we go from after I do the intro.
Perfect. Down for it. Here for it all.
Fucking lost a car. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Shit.
They found it in Round Rock, but it's gutted. You know. Yeah. Oh, it's my bad. He'd be like, I've lost my car before. Not the way I did. Hold my beer.
Fucking Texas. Hold my beer. Oh my God. Okay. So this is the John Hollywood Show. This is John Hollywood Show After Dark. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. If you're coming back to join me for another episode, welcome back. Today, I should be asleep. It's fucking 10:03 p.m. I have Tina with me. We have been on a fucking terror for the last 20 minutes, and I'm super excited about this shit. Like, I promise you, this shit is going to be good. We literally just talked about how you lose a car. How do you fucking lose a car? Anyways, let me introduce Tina. Tina, this is Tina. She's over there. And I'm super excited about this shit. So let's get this thing fucking
I am too. Let's fucking do this.
So, Tina, you brought up a really good story the other day that kind of like super piqued my interest, and it's one of those things that like they came out with a Netflix special like, I don't know, 7 months ago about working in the fucking triangle in California, whatever, where you're, you know, producing weed or, you know, processing weed before all this shit was legalized. Like, it was a different world back then.
Oh yeah. It was, yeah. Cause I mean, it was very, I mean, it's, a lot of states it still is illegal, but you know, and when I did it, it was still illegal. You know, we always feared, cops coming on and, you know, property and such, but I mean, it was an opportunity, and I ran with it.
Let's start from the beginning. So like when I read it, or when I read into it, it was like I hopped on a plane or another plane and then an Uber and then some other shit, and it was like, holy fuck, no way. Like that's
yeah,
crazy. Like going in it blind is nuts for me. I want to be in control of everything, and then going into something like that, that's like the exact opposite of what I want to go into. So can you start from there for me?
That's it. You know, I like to be in control as well. So I had a great position. You know, I loved what I did. I was a staffing director, loved it. Unfortunately, hated the company. I was working, you know, 60 plus hours. I never touched a cigarette until I worked there. Just horrendous company to work with. And I'll never forget, it was a Monday, and I was walking home, and I had just worked my ass off to hire for like Technon, some like, you know, like Comic-Con for tech nerds, and worked, you know, from 4 a.m. to 11 p.m, crazy shit. And it just went, I was walking back, and I crossed the convention center, and I see everything set up, you know, and I see the people that I hired working, and I'm like, this is it. Like, I gotta do something different. I mean, I would literally just working to pay my bills in an apartment that I never saw. I was always staying with my friend who lived a block away from the convention center. That way, in case they needed to call me, I could run to work. So anyways, a friend of mine was like, hey, you know, I'm out here trimming bud, you know, yada, yada, and you should come out. And, you know, people always say, you know, you should do this, you know, you should come on down, I'll get you a job. Crazy shit.
Never ending story. Yeah. Everybody fucking says that. Yeah.
Exactly. So so he would send me videos and videos and videos. I'm sitting at my desk like, I just want to trim it all and just smoke it all. And so then I decided that Monday I went to my friend's apartment. I bought a one-way ticket, and by that Wednesday I was out. I had subleased my apartment. I'd given away everything I couldn't. I had 2 big ass suitcases with me. Like, it was like a duffel bag with like little wheels and an actual suitcase. And I flew out there. I jumped on the plane, and then I had to take a train, a bus, and then the last one was an Uber ride. Cause again, like, I was completely blindsided. I didn't know where I was. I've been to Cali many times, but I didn't know like the mountain area. You know, I'm hoping that this is legit. You know, I get there and they're like, oh, you can't do this. Oh, fuck that. You know, I'm going to be a homeless person with 2 suitcases.
Welcome to Krispy Kreme. You're working at Krispy Kreme now. Fucking.
Yeah. Welcome to Good Burger. Home of the Good Burger. So it was interesting, but I'll never forget, like, you know, I'm taking this Uber ride, and I after all this, you know, I don't have too much financial means to like be taking a ride there 2 hours, you know, and come back. And I'll never forget being in the Uber ride and we're talking and we just drive into the mountains and there's no service. And my friend told me, he was like, there's not gonna be any service. He's like, but once you get to like the end of the road, there's a post office. You know, I'll meet you there. And I'm like, the fuck? Like going to a post office at like 10 o'clock at night, you know, in the woods with no service. Like what?
Perfectly safe.
Perfectly safe. You know, I feel safe. Single white female, you're so safe.
You're intimidating though.
Yeah. Yeah. I got the, you know, caffeine gun.
Gotcha.
But I'll never forget, I went into the mountain and I looked up and I've never seen, you know, I've been camping my entire life. I've been, you know, cross country. I've never seen stars so bright and the trees just went, you know, into the clouds. And I remember just like feeling so free. I was like, like, I don't even care if it works. This is where I need to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, my friend showed up, you know, and then we come to the mountain and, you know, we're sleeping in tents. I brought my own tent with me and I had to go get a sleeping bag and such. And, you know, I remember waking up the next day and I walked out and I see the you know, view that I have in that video. I have the mountain view and, you know, it's breathtaking. And I turned the other direction. It's like acres of weed. And I'm just like, I now know how Cheech and Chong feel. Like
that's fucking crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. And it was amazing. There was, you know, there was a few other Americans with me there as well, mainly foreigners. You know, we had Frenchie, who was from France. We had Amelia from, you know, Peru, all this stuff. And, you know, we had a large tent where we were in. We would trim. We would have, you know, the heaters. We would have music. We'd just be, you know, rolling blunts, smoking and chilling, talking, conversing. And then the other tent, we had an actual DJ set up.
No way.
Yes. Frenchie was a DJ, so he did that. And we had this like little stove thing, you know, like little burners. And that's what I made their first Thanksgiving dinner with. But it was trippy because it was the best time of my life. Like I've experienced so much in life. I mean, I could write a book, you know, the hardships, the ups, downs. But these people made me realize I have not done shit with my life. Mm-hmm. But it was really cool because we were all in it together, you know, and we were there to make money and enjoy ourselves. And every time we'd go to town, like, well, we're going to town. I was like, oh my God, we're going to town. You know, kind of how I am now. Going to AT, I'm like, oh, let me get my nice outfit on, you know.
Get dressed up to go to the grocery store. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's how it was there. You know, we'd all go to the one store. And it's so funny because it was a town of trimmers. You know, they're all trimming. You could tell because the resin from the weed would be on the edge of our jackets because, you know, we would just be in it all day. So it's like brown here, brown on our shoe, you know, on our hands, like 10 layers of skin. You know, and then we would go to the other areas of where they're trimming and we'd have like little parties. It was insane. It was utterly insane. I spent my 29th birthday up there. Towards the end, I was the only American left. You know, and then I was like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. I was like, y'all, you know, do you guys do, you know, green bean casserole or sweet potatoes with marshmallows? And everyone's like, what the fuck? These Americans, you know, they eat like they have health care. So I took that day off of trimming. I got permission to do that. And I just cooked all day for them. And it was such a blast. You know, we spent Thanksgiving together. Frenchie would make this thing called hot wine, a warm wine where we get red wine. It's kind of like a sangria, you know, in a pot with stuff. And so we'd have that. And it was just insane because one of the girls that I was there with, she was pregnant. She was 3 or 4 months pregnant, but she had just come from Peru. And she had lived with a shaman for 6 months while they did ayahuasca and just found her life invigorating and mind changing. And I'm like, damn, I haven't done shit with my life.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Yeah.
I literally not done shit with my life at all. Like it made me feel like a bougie rich kid who was just handed everything in life, who just, you know, and that's not the case.
How long were you out there for?
I was out there for 2.5 months.
Okay.
2.5 months.
I'm sure that time just flew by too, because I mean, you guys.
It flew by, you know. I mean, I like two of the girls were from there were these 2 Dutch women. God, I've never seen a woman like them. Like they were like big and bulky and like, you know, like they look like they came from Beer Fest, you know, like they could just fuck shit up. And They said that they would, trim bud when, in the States, and then they would go to another country and go pick cherries, and then they would go here because that's how they traveled. And then they walked away with like 20 grand from trimming bud. They're just in there just because each bud was different. Like there's some that would, you would make, $150 an hour trimming it, but it was more tedious. So it took longer, so, and then there were some that, you'd make $50 off, and that was the easiest one. So it really added up. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I told him I did. I was like, I trim bud, at my house while I'm trying to break it up. But, I can do anything, I've never seen so much Cheech and Chong and, Tommy Chong movies in my life. I watched Snoop Dogg.
God.
How does Snoop Dogg, how does Snoop do it? So Snoop does it like this. And so I had
the closer you put it to your face, the easier it gets, right?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I got it, and then you lick it, and then you like a typewriter, ding, ding, ding. Yeah, it was insane, because it was something I've always wanted to experience, but I never thought I'd had the opportunity, or if the opportunity presented itself, I would make an excuse, like for instance, I don't have enough time, when I'm time, or I have my big girl job. I can't leave that, that security of going into the unknown, but the craziest thing is when you take a leap of faith and just jump into it, that's when it turns out to be just the best experience. It was very unfortunate because when we all finished trimming bud, we were close to San Francisco. We were in Stockton, and we all went to San Francisco, and I actually got mugged. So we went to a hostel. I'd never stayed at a hostel before, and I was not about to leave my money there. Well, I took it with me, of course, and I think someone at the bar saw when I had my purse, and long story short, yeah, I got my purse taken, and that sucked. I spent.
That's San Francisco, though. I've spent so much time out in San Francisco, and like growing up in Sacramento, I was always in the Bay, and it's like the city really never sleeps, and the city, when it gets dark, and it sounds like you guys are out there in the dark, it turns, and it's completely different than daytime. Like it's tourist trap during the day, but at nighttime, like the amount of crime that happens in the city is fucking crazy.
It is. It's night and day. It really is. But when I called my mom and told her, she's like, I'll get you a ticket, back here. I'm like, Mom, I've always wanted to come to San Francisco. Mm-hmm. I'm here. When am I going to be able to come back? I'm going to have an excuse if I don't have the time or money. Mm-hmm. So I ended up staying at my first hostel, and I went to another one, met my bunkmate. We went to SantaCon together. We went everywhere. I lived off very little. I would eat Chinatown food every day, which I did not complain. I went to the pier. I went to Golden State Park. I went to Golden State Bridge. I learned dance lessons in the park. I had picnics with my friends. I watched thousands of Santas do the SantaCon, and watch them do the walk of shame the next day, because you can always tell they're in fucking Santa outfits, so it was an amazing experience. And from there I went to LA and got a very, very interesting position job wise, but it had I not taken that one leap of faith, just that one, I would not have I wouldn't be here right now, with the same mindset and mind frame or experience. There's
it definitely
no way.
Opens up a ton of doors, and like you allowed yourself to be vulnerable enough to go and experience that shit, whether or not it was illegal or safe or across the board, like completely fucking crazy. You got to meet these people from all over the world, and then you took the experience from those people in this random fucking forest cutting bud, like something you had no clue how to do it or what you're going to do there, and then fucking took it down the road with you, not necessarily doing the same thing, but incorporating it into a different lifestyle.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I took, and the thing is, as humans, we're so afraid of being vulnerable. We're afraid of people seeing us be vulnerable, kind of like with our emotions, like with men especially, men, you can't cry. Men don't have emotions. Who the fuck says that, when you're vulnerable, you allow yourself to open that door for opportunities, but it takes a lot to really just, say fuck it and drop the towel, and just run out there.
Accepting vulnerability. Like
Yes.
most people refuse to accept it because they're like, no, I got to be tough. Like people can't see me do that. People can't see me do this shit. And it's like,
Yeah.
we're raised that way. And people as a
Yeah.
whole are raised that way. Because if you wear it, then people are going to judge you by it. But if you fucking wear it and address it and don't fucking care what people think about you, then it's going to be just fine. I promise.
Yeah, it's going to be just fine. You're going to be fine. You know, we humans we're made to go to battle. We're made for wars. We're made to withstand anything, you know?
Survive.
Yeah, it's survival. And I've always had, you know, since a kid, you know, I'm adopted. I've always had survival mode, you know? So with that being said, it was a scary opportunity because again, like what if I went out there and I failed, you know, or something happened and then I'm literally in the mountains with 2 suitcases praying life turns out okay. And because of it, you know, I'm still friends with those people. We still talk to this day. One of them is coming to Austin with a couple other people, you know, a little road trip. Well, I don't know anytime soon, but they were supposed to. But
when the world opens back up.
Yeah, you know, and it's easy, like, you know, and you know, my mom, you know, for instance, mom's a teacher, you know, she doesn't do anything illegal. She thinks hell is one of the worst curse words, you know. So it's, you know, she brought it up this day, you know, she's like, Tina, you know, had you not gone to trim bud and this, and I'm like, I would have been such a little bitch. I would have been such a little bitch and scared of life. I mean, it's true. It really is. You know, I would have been the biggest walking doormat. And that's what I was. You know, I allowed a company to define me and define my worth. You know, who the fuck was this company? You know, I was making them money. You know, I was doing this. I was putting my health on the line. I was putting my stress, my mentality, my mental health, everything on the line. And for what? You know, yeah, it may have been illegal. I get it. But according to Catholic priests, it was premarital sex. You know, look at us just going around being whorish alcoholics. Look at us, you know. You know, that's the case. And you know, from there, you know, again, I went to San Francisco, I went to LA, I went to Denver, I went to Vegas, I went here. Had I not taken that step, you know, again, like I said, it's a domino effect. There will never ever regret it. And the people that I met, you know, again, and their couple during the summer, they lived in Alaska and they're commercial fishermen, you know, and they do that on the boat they come trim bud. It's like, you would never believe these, you know, looking at these people, you'd be like, there's no way in hell these people trim bud, you know.
Judging the book by its cover.
Exactly. You know, which is sad because we're so we're raised like that, you know, to be just assholes. But it was, you know, and it's really because, you know, I posted that photo and that video, but, you know, I'm like, oh, what are people going to think, you know, and, oh, fuck what people think, you know, you're not paying my bills unless you're, you know, if you're paying my bills, then you could talk, but.
But it goes back to like, you were able to really accept the fact that, hey, this is a leap of faith. I don't know how the shit's going to work. I don't know anything about this area I'm going into. And I got a friend that's out there, but who knows how fucking trustworthy this friend really is.
Yeah. And is this friend going to save me if we go down? You know, it's kind of like you're Jack's holding onto that damn door and Rose doesn't want to let go, you know? That's how it is.
Did you just fucking pull a Titanic reference out?
I did. I think it's about time we open the Titanic back up, you know, for business. You know, no, I'm just saying. But it is, you know, and people, you know, you and other people were like, dude, that's badass. And, you know, people I never thought would reach out for pertaining to that subject have. I think with us, you know, and kind of like with this pandemic, we do not discuss like mental health issues. We don't discuss, you know, all this stuff because of what it would look like. You know, I have to
vulnerability.
Again,
it all stems back to that. Like, there's shit in here I don't want to address on a regular basis all the fucking time.
Oh, hell no. There's things that I sure as hell do not want to address. I don't want people knowing about it. I don't. But opening up, you know, helps others. You know, when I see someone talking about mental health issue or this or that, it's like, okay, now I can talk about it, you know, or how someone, you know, overcame that. You know, your survival can help someone else on their journey. or, you know, even like someone who wants to quit their job and, you know, do something, but they can't find the passion to, or they need that one kick in the ass, you know, kind of like that 70s show. I'm going to put my foot up your ass, you know, Eric type shit.
Go Red Foreman on somebody.
I go, yeah, you have to go Red Foreman. And again, that's vulnerability is being raw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a person who I told my friend this, and he said it was a damn good thing. I said, I want to see the light at the end of the tunnel without having to light that bitch up myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to experience life. You know, we don't get a redo. This is not a 7-day free trial. You know, time, you know, people are like, oh, well, with my mom, the biggest concern was, Tina, how are you going to make money? What if you don't make money out there? Time is money. Time is the most valuable currency. And what I do at that time and how I utilize it is the biggest payoff. And I really wish people could have done it with me. You know, nowadays friends like, how can I do it? How can I do it? I said, well, now it's, you know, it's legal places. Now they have warehouses, they have different stuff. So it's a lot harder. So I got in when the dirt was just being laid down. You know, I got the raw part. You know, I didn't get to sit in a nice, lovely warehouse with AC getting, you know, doing all that. I did not. I had to wear so many layers when I had to go pee. They would get stuck. I'd be in the porta potty like, oh, help. Yeah. I can't get my pants on. Help. Like it was raw. It was, you know, dirty. And there was times where I, you know, didn't take a shower, and I'm pretty sure I smelled, and, you know, amongst other things, like I didn't even know what a razor was, you know?
You went full hippie.
I went full tree hugger. Like that's my tree over there. Do not touch it.
You were literally hugging trees on an hourly basis with your hands.
I was literally holding trees. The trees were in my palm, you know? But I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, I mean, there was days where it was so fucking cold, and it would, you know, one of the night days it snowed. I did not want to get up, but, you know, I was like, I don't want to go out there, but I did. And every time I would look at that mountain, I'm like, everything in life is so minimal. You know, it's, we turn small things into big things, and we really don't need to. You know, when I got out of that truck and looked up at the sky, I thought, why am I worrying about the small stuff? Why am I sweating it? All small stuff, you know.
We're this big. We are this big.
Really are. You know, I have an ex who, you know, he's like, you know, every time I go through a breakup, my dad gets a salt, you know, shaker and, you know, dumps it out and says, can you find that one grain of salt? He goes, no. He goes, so why worry about it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's kind of how our problem is. We seem to intensify and enhance it. Like you said, the victim card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what happens to us is not our choice, but how long we choose to grasp onto it and, you know, run with it, that is. So again, like I have videos of, you know, those people, and I miss them all the time. You know, the video that I posted the other day, I remember sitting there, you know, and Frenchie's right there, and Greg's right there, and, you know, they're arguing about stupid stuff, you know, and Frenchie's like, well, let's do it. Oh, I will. They don't do it. Oh, I will. You know, and I'm to be able to witness it. It's like, you know, me telling that story, it's like I could tell you the story, but it's like, fuck, it's like I can't even put in words, and I am very vocal. I can't even put in words like what that experience felt like. And just, I don't think there was a time I've ever been that happy.
Yeah.
You know, in layers, covered in, you know, resin and smelling and everything. I don't think I've ever been that happy. You know,
is it because you were sober? Or is it because of the amount of like freedom was there? Like you made the ultimate decision to be there.
I mean, there were some days I wasn't sober. There's some days, like I remember one time I was pretty drunk. That wine on a cold night, that warm wine does wonders. Okay, the French know what the fuck they're doing, by the way. And I remember, like, you know, I had like 10 hoodies on, you know, and my gloves, and I'm like stumbling like down the hill to my tent, and I'm like, oof, you drunk, you know, like oof. I mean, I remember like sitting there, like outside my tent, just like sitting there, and I was like, I'm so happy right now. You know? And I was fucked up. But, you know, I wasn't causing any harm to anyone. I wasn't causing harm to myself.
Yeah.
But I was there. I was present. You know, a lot of us like can be somewhere. We can be having dinner with a boyfriend, you know, parents, but it doesn't mean we're present. You know, it doesn't. It just means we're there.
It's
So
fucking,
that's,
everybody sits on their fucking phones all the
yeah,
time. It's like, it, okay, convenience is great. Like it being is so convenient is amazing because
it
it's
is.
completely changed the world. Like you put a huge computer that was taking up so much space into the palm of your hands, but now it literally controls every motion you make. Like you can't
Everything.
fucking leave the house without it. There's no way.
No, I recently thought I had my phone stolen, and I flipped shit. It wasn't just like because of social media or anything. It was like I'm in a lockdown. How if something happens or this or that. I mean, I went full panic mode. Like you could tell me, someone passed away, and I'd be like, okay, but I can't call them. I don't have a phone. It was directed to that,
Yeah.
and I how much it irks me when I go somewhere or do something and I see people on their phones. It's like, dude, just live in the fucking moment.
Mhm.
You do not know if you're gonna get that back.
Mhm.
You really don't. And I had a friend ask me recently. They're like, do you think everything's gonna go back to normal? Like, do you think people are actually gonna want to go to restaurants and stuff? I said yes, but you know what's gonna be different? You're not gonna see their fucking phones in their hand.
It'll be a
Because
new normal. It'll be a different normal.
we live off our phones. We have to have this thing in our hand all the time. Which is sad. So I think people, when they got to eat, they're going to enjoy it. They're going to be able to sit there without their phones and hopefully enjoy the meal because it's something that they didn't cook. It's in a restaurant that they couldn't come to for a month or so. Will it go back to that, before? Yeah, of course. But for that one small moment, it's going to be completely different. And
we could hope. I mean,
yeah,
we hope that it's going to open people's eyes to the fact that there's a lot of things missing now, especially right now. But we could hope that the moment that everything kind of opens back up, where you don't have to wear the masks and you don't have to wear the gloves, and things kind of return to a semi-normal, but it would be like the new normal. We appreciate more of being able to go out like that, not fucking protesting, not doing all this stupid shit that's going to put us in harm's way, but actually appreciating the moments that we have now that are outside of our dwelling, which again is, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to stay at home. They don't have a home to stay in. Like you could drive around
no,
downtown now, and it's like The Walking Dead downtown. Like
it's scary. It's scary. It really is, and that's just it. For the moment, I've seen it. I went downtown the other day just driving around, and I'm like, this is scary as shit. This is really scary that we're going through this. And but when I think about me going to a restaurant, and the waiter's like, can I start you off with any drinks and appetizers? All of it. One each. Mama took her lactose pill, mozzarella sticks, baby.
Yo, like,
Texas.
think about it like this. Okay, if I'm gonna order a favor, if I'm gonna get food to order to my house, and am I really gonna order an appetizer along with my entree? Because it's all coming at the same time. Like, how am I gonna start with the appetizer if I want to go straight to the entree? Why don't I just order 2 entrees?
Exactly. No, you're gonna, again, you're gonna enjoy a little more, and it's like it's gonna be so funny, like watching. I almost wish I was a server in this moment because you're gonna be watching people and like in the public, like
a cow looking at a new gate.
Yeah, look at it. It's a restaurant. People. Oh, look at people around us.
Oh my gosh.
It's so sad that we've come to that, but also it's kind of like a born again moment.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of our redo.
Mm-hmm.
This is our redo. We don't get to redo much shit in life, but this is one we get to.
All the introverted people are like, okay, and all the extroverted people are like, where are my friends at? Let me talk to everybody every day. I gotta be all in one frame so we feel like we're touching.
That's exactly it. I think I associate myself as being very I'm both. I love some alone time. I need to recharge, but then I also am very social. And it's so funny you say that because there's a comedian, Trey Kennedy, who does those skits. It was the introvert to extrovert, and the guy was like, what do I do? Like, I need social interaction. The guy was like, welcome to my paradise. I'm gonna sleep. It's like, and then he was like, Naomi, hi. And it's I've seen people like that. I mean, I have friends who are just losing their minds. And I'm just like, just calm down. You know, it's, again, I put myself in situations that, you know, I didn't think I'd come out of, or I just didn't have answers for. You know, again, like when I got mugged in San Francisco, I did not know what the fuck I was going to do. You know,
that's fucking crazy.
I was like, I don't even have my card with me. I don't have any of this stuff with me. Like, what, you know, what am I going to do? And if I get a hotel or in a hostel, and it was crazy. You know, but it was, again, such a life-changing moment that I will forever worship, because every person I interacted with, you know, even meeting someone from Germany when I was crossing the pier and I had my headphones in, had I not, you know, stopped at that one moment, we would have not interacted, and I would not have, you know, experienced the best days of my life with this person. So it's really, you know, you have to make the best of every situation. You know, there's always going to be hard times. There's always going to be things that test our strength. But we also have to remember how resilient we are. You know, we don't mind the bullshit. It's really a lot of, it's like we're the newly washed cars, and life is the pigeon. It just wants to shit on it. You know, it's just going to shit on it. It's like, ooh, see that car over there, newly washed. You know, it just shits on everything we love.
But if you walk around feeling like you're always going to get shit on, then you're never going to get anything done, ever. Drive the fucking car. It's okay. It'll wash off.
Granted, when I'm on over by Slaughter and 35 Walmart, and it's like Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds, then I'm a little worried I'm going to shit on. But you know, but then I think if I get shit on it, that's good luck in Italy, you know? So it you know, it sounds so bad, but it's
different strokes.
Really,
different strokes
for
sure.
Exactly. And so so that's why, you know, I love talking about, you know, with the weed trimming and this and that, because, you know, people are just like, oh, you know, she has this drugs, and she's like, so again, judging a book by its cover, you know.
It's a job. Like okay, granted, yes, it is very illegal, or was very illegal. Now in California, it is just part of the process. So it's like, why are you overlooking the hustle and really diving more into the fact that, yes, it wasn't socially acceptable then, but it was still definitely a fucking hustle. Like, you can make money. And in the moment, to like really completely clear up the mental clarity and the fucking amount of stress you're going through with work, you're like, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm going.
It was, you know, it was like a fuck it. This cannot exhaust me as much as I already am with this lifestyle. You know, I had bills. I mean, I had my apartment, I had my bills paid, I had nice things, but man, I was fucking miserable. You know, it just goes to show you have everything you want in life and still be miserable. You know, it's like that quote Jim Carrey saying, I wish everyone would become millionaires and actors and this and that. And that way they can see that it's not, you know, what it's meant, you know, made up to be. And when I did it, you know, I had a lot of friends from high school that were just like, oh, you know, she's trimming bud and this and that. And then now I have a few of them who are actually working at dispensaries. It's like, just because I went feet first, just dove the fuck in when you were scared to, you know, does not make what I did wrong or, you know, anything. It just goes to show that I have more balls than most people.
I'm telling you, like, people are going to judge no matter what you do. This, like, literally this, like, people don't agree with everything I say. People aren't going to agree with what you say. People aren't going to agree with the hustle and the shit that you're doing. But does it fucking matter? No, it doesn't. If you want to say something, feel free to say it. Is it going to change me posting this on the internet? No, it's not. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. This is an hour of your life you don't have to attend. But there is somebody that's going to draw a connection to that shit. And the fact that you did it and you took this experience and you fucking dove feet first, head first, whatever you want to be, you dove in and really accepted the fact that, okay, I'm going to take this vulnerability and I'm going to go and learn something new away from my element and like completely I'm afraid, but it's okay. I'm going to learn, but it's okay. And if I die, well, that didn't go as planned, but you did it.
I could be possibly taken out by I survived Everclear in my 20s and 18 teens, and now I might be taken out by a fucking beer. Like, really? it is what it is, and again, like, it was frustrating, people didn't see like the behind the scenes of me having to lug around 2 heavy ass fucking suitcases, but I needed them, or they didn't see that I had to get on a bus and I missed the other one and I'm walking around and I don't know anyone and this, they don't see the behind the scenes, and, they're so quick to judge. Again, people are, like you said, people are always going to have something to talk about. If you have a problem with me, call me. If you don't have my number, well, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me. Simple as that. So
it's okay. It's okay. You're not going to lose sleep over it. It's okay.
I'm actually, it was funny. The other day I was getting into bed and I was like, how do I sleep at night knowing that I just, don't give a fuck about any other problem? Like a baby.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But again, I would do it all over again. I really would. And I'm glad that I got the experience of that as opposed to the polished dispensary, cush thing. I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying I got the front line of it. And that will always be, worth more than any money in the world. It really is. If someone said, Tina, I want to give you $1 million, or you'd experience that type of life, with the traveling after and doing, I would say, keep the fucking million. Keep it. Really. I'll find a way to make it later.
Mm-hmm.
But the memories that I made were worth millions plus more.
Oh, yeah.
So it would have meant shit to me if I had not experienced that. I really wish people would go after what they want in life, because at one point we're going to say we're too old for this, or we're not in good health for this, or like right now, pandemic could, scare, there's different shit. There's always going to be something that pops up. I saw those hurdles. I saw those obstacles, but I'm a jumper, and bob and weave. I'm short as fuck. I'm used to bobbing and weaving on people, soft sauce. So it is what it is. And again, I've never hated on anyone for doing what they love, and I never will. I've always encouraged it, Yeah, you may not make as much money. Yeah, you're going to be on the front line. Yeah, you may not have a place to live, but all that shit will come together when it needs to, and it may come out better. You may come out winning, yeah, you gave up this. Well, you got this instead, so, you gave up this slice of pie. Well, now they're giving up, buy one pie, get 2 free over here. You may get more out of it than when you went in. And people need to learn to take that fucking risk and just jump in. Kind of like Barton Springs, for instance. Water's cold as shit.
It's fucking cold.
Jump.
It's like 50 degrees year round. 50 degrees. Yeah, it's cold as fuck.
Don't put your toe in it like,
Just the tip. Just the tip.
Yeah, it's a tip, But you just got to jump the fuck in. Once you swim around, does it not get warm? Do you not enjoy it? And then, when you get out, you enjoy it more. That's the experience people need to, go through.
It's hard for people to accept change. Change is, going through it now, like it on a personal level. If you see change and you're not well equipped to deal with it, it's hard to accept it. You don't want to go through it. And it's like, well, you're doing this and you do that and you can't talk, blah, 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 blah. All these excuses for not to do it.
Yep. And there's always that's just it. There's always going to be an excuse as to why. Well, okay, excuse aside, the why nots or the should nots. What about the what ifs?
Yeah.
If this happens, what if this comes about it, or what if you don't walk away with anything but just being, a stronger, a stronger bit. Like like I was terrified going into a freaking woods, and I'm like, I swear to God, I've seen Fargo, I've seen Strangers, I've seen, Get Out, like
Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project. They're running, and my nose is dripping. I'm like, I'm scared.
Camera's fucking shaking everywhere.
I can shake. My pants are falling off because my long johns, and I don't know what to do. It is, but again, I will never, ever, ever forget. I don't have children. I've been married. I guarantee that maybe those, we weren't magical, but until then, looking up in that sky and just exhaling all the bullshit out was worth it.
Yeah.
I again, I lived in a fucking tent, you know, and it's not glamorous, and it was not glamorous at all, but it sure as hell was breathtaking, invigorating.
Like in that moment, like looking back on it, what would you say was the biggest thing that you're able to take from that?
You mean that I took away from trimming bud?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, that I can really trim the fuck out of something like Edward Scissorhands. But I took away with it how strong I am, and how brave and fearless. And, you know, I've known this about myself, but I allow other people to either dampen it, you know, or kind of convince me that I'm not, you know, that person, or I can never be that person, or I'm not worthy of being that person. So it's really easy, especially for me. I'm a person who overanalyzes everything. You know, you can think of something once, I'm gonna think about it 10 times, you know, in the hour. It's all mental. We also have to understand that our brains are the biggest mind fuck. It will trick us and trick us and trick us. But it is up to us, because it is our brain. Is up to us to unlearn and inherit other things.
It's ultimately up to you what you do. If you don't want to breathe, guess what? You're going to stop breathing.
Yeah.
You think about breathing 10 times before you take the one breath?
If you don't want to swim anymore, you're just going to stop swimming, you know? It is what it is. And, you know, I had to kind of step back and not listen to people. And it's so hard to do that, especially, you know, with friends and family talking in your ear of this is what can go wrong. And then, you know, you're sitting there, oh, a lot can go wrong. You know, they're right. But telling yourself, okay, that can go wrong, but what if 10 things go right? You know, taking that leap, and not just taking the leap into that situation, but taking a leap of faith in yourself, knowing that you are resilient and that you are strong enough to overcome anything. And I did, you know, again, I went through hell just trying to get there. And there's many times where I just broke down and cried, because, you know, I'm like, I spent all these, you know, this month's trimming, and my money's gone, and this and that, and I feel so alone. I have nowhere to go, but I don't want to go home to, you know, people saying, well, see what happened, you know. It was that type of situation where I had to sit there and think, okay, Tina, you have two choices. You know, either fall back into comfort or step out of it and see where it goes. And that's exactly what I did. So if that's anything I could take from it, it was really how fucking resilient I am. Mm-hmm. And I do not give myself enough credit for that. You know, bad things have happened in my life, horrendous things happen that I would never wish upon anyone. But I also, you know, because of those bad things, I was able to be that strong. So you have to keep, it's like the brick, you know, a brick wall. You have to keep putting the layers and layers and layers and layers on. You know, yeah, you're building up a wall, but it's a strong ass fucking wall. You know.
Yeah, that's fucking powerful. Yeah, that's from the whole thing. Like, people listening to the beginning to the end, like, that's going to be, you've gone through a lot. You've battled with a shit ton, especially leaving the grow and then going to fucking the city and then all the other shit in between. Like, that's, people don't give themselves enough credit and really think about and reflect on the shit that they've gone through. And then they beat themselves up here without giving themselves the wins. You have the win. Take the win.
And that's, you know, that's it, you know. And you know, for instance, like I had, you know, with my childhood, I put my parents in jail as a kid. And you know, telling people that they get this image of, you know, I'm weak, or, you know, whatever image they get, you know. I've had people throw it in my face of, you know, you didn't have good upbringing, or you don't have a father figure, you don't have this. Yeah, but I am so fucking strong. You know, I have moments of weakness for sure. You know, again, my brain is the biggest cunt sometimes, you know, but she is also, I am in charge of her, you know. She's my bitch, you know. And you had to keep looking at like that, with that point of view, and I guarantee it will get you so much further in life, you know. And it's true. Like, there's times I just want to come home and cry, you know, just run into my mom's arms and just give up. But I didn't. I told myself, stay, see what happens, see how strong you are on your own 2 feet, see what you're capable of, you know, see what, if you can make $1 into 10 into 20 and so forth. And that's exactly what I did. And I had to be my own support system at time. You know, that's even harder because, you know, I'm there alone, but I mean, I'm there alone. You know, there was no one sitting with me when I'm crying about my purse or calling the cops and having to file a police report and them saying, well, it is what it is. You know, no one was there for me when I'm sitting on those, you know, the police station steps crying and thinking I am so alone and there's nothing anyone could fucking do, nor do they want to. And I had to just get up off the staircase and just go back to my hostel and come up with a plan. And that's what I did.
San Francisco is a fickle bitch. That's a crazy city. I spent plenty of time there. And I mean, like, whenever I was there, I was definitely not doing the most PG things. And I was there a lot. And I mean, I was there at nighttime. I grew up with a rocky childhood. And I'm going to leave it at the fact that all the things that you discovered about yourself with the grow and discovered with yourself post-grow, pre-grow, and then like the mental aspect of really tapping into the like self-discovery side of things, and people refusing to really reflect on the things that they've gone through and owning the things that they've really achieved on a day-to-day basis. Like literally, I have a sign behind me that says, just remember all you accomplished today. Literally, right behind me. Every fucking day I read that. And it's like, if people thought for 2 seconds, just remember all that you accomplished today, they would completely approach everything differently. It's fucking, it's one of those things I couldn't preach more. But it's been incredible talking to you and hearing that story from you. And I really respect the amount of vulnerability that you brought to the table with this whole thing. And I would love to talk a little bit more about so many different things, and we could fucking keep rolling forever. But I definitely think people are going to be like, hey, you know what? It's been over an hour and I got to get back to work.
No, understandable. There's lots of stuff.
So much. Thank you so much for coming on with me. And thank you so much for literally like opening up to me and to the community to watch. And it's been a pleasure. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. So
you as well. Thank you for having me on. You know, I love talking. You know, I never shut the fuck up. So it's always great.
It's great, okay. You know? That's what it takes for
Thanks
something
for
that's
back to the John Hollywood
leading an
Show.
interview.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and tell your friends.